Good morning. Um, we want to continue from our previous class where we left yesterday. We were talking about the cargo consolidation and deconsolidation. And in our previous class, we talked about the meaning of consolidation and also the meaning of deconsolidation. We also try to find out the reasons as to why we do consolidation and also why we do the consolidation. So straight away, I want us to move to the purpose of the consolidation. Deconsolidation, as I said in the previous class, that it is just the opposite of to consolidate. That is the moment we have consolidated our cargo in the port of loading. Remember, this cargo, they're being shipped as a LCL, and when they reach the port of discharge, they must be split again, so that each party whose cargo was on board take his or her cargo. So that is where the consolidation comes. So why do we do it? The purpose for the consolidation, there are several. So we say here that for the success of the business, some of the important factors for freight deconsolidation include then listed. One is we have lower transport cost, that if properly managed, the consolidation activities can only reduce the transportation cost. That is to mean the consolidation and deconsolidation of shipment must be carefully monitored by shippers and carriers, as well as by the freight forwarders, to ensure timely and accurate delivery in the last mile delivery. Then again, it is also talking about better management of inventories. Inventories, we know these are the stock or the goods we have. So there is a robust process of the consolidation that allows better management of inventories through bringing freight closer to consumers' demands, and also in the e-commerce era, it may include regional and local distribution centers, like distribution center, storefronts, digital order pickup centers, or conventional e-commerce warehouses. Then there is also faster speed to market. Now, in achieving faster speed to market is another critical reason why shippers choose to consolidate freight. But again, the deconsolidation process must not take longer than the shipping freight via a costlier solution. So shippers, therefore, they choose to use third-party services to handle both the consolidation and the consolidation of freight. So before contracting a freight forwarder, you as a shipper, you retain the option of consolidating into a less truckload, that is LTL, and a full truckload shipment. So you have that option. Either should I use an LTL or should I use the FTL? So you will choose the one which suits you. But we know that for a faster and convenient shipment, consolidation is always very important. Then we have some of the common problems with consolidation of freight. So there are some problems which also comes with it. Remember, anything which has got a positive side must also have some negative sides. So the consolidation of freight is not trouble-free. And these common problems can be experienced by shippers, including carrier selection troubles. Remember, carrier choice in the initial merger phase is most commonly a concern. To order to take advantage of the available trucking power, shippers may need to partner with a freight forwarder, or carriers may not be available to meet the demand. So this becomes a challenge. And also, unlike freight brokers, freight forwarders ensure smooth flow of goods between the carrier and the location. They frequently take advantage of discounted rates passed on to the shippers. So it's better when you use these freight forwarders rather than the freight brokers. You know, a broker, nothing concerns him. Today he does business with you. Tomorrow he looks for another person. But a freight forwarder is always there and wants you to be his client for a continuous business. So they always try as much as they can to ensure that this cargo move from one point, that is the point of shipment, up to where the client actually needs it. Now, there's also a challenge in intermodal transport, that freight will switch from a full truckload to a less than truckload, and a small package deliveries during the consolidation. So the consolidation can occur at multiple locations depending on the path, and reconciliation may also be required. So to order to avoid loss of property and freight, being able to track the movement of this freight is important because of that challenges. Remember, maybe you use FTL to transport them up to the point where they're going to be consolidated. Then from the FTL, now in consolidation, they are going to use an LTL, okay? That is less than truckload. So in that movement, packing and repacking, it can also cause damages to these cargoes. So they need very, very careful handling and proper planning. Then there's poor planning and coordination, that to simplify the tracking and asset monitoring process, sophisticated freight tracking tools and systems such as automatic identification and data capture, that is IDC, a radio frequency identification code, RFID technologies can be implemented. So failure to maintain correct end-to-end visibility of the freight position and status can increase the cost of the consolidation, deconsolidating the freight, rendering it inefficient in providing the shippers with the benefit which is supposed to be acquired. Then also there is increased risk from a higher number of touch points. Touch points, these are the points where the shippers interact with the clients. So shippers may need to use freight consolidation and the consolidation combination on several legs throughout the freight journey. And as a result, there may be routing issues, and Mother Nature can cause delays, leading to delays in subsequent activities of consolidation and reconsolidation. So in other words, shippers should work with freight forwarders to transfer freight before issues arise, and at forwarders with a dedicated carriers network to move the freight regardless of the changes to your intended route. So that is very, very important, which is which should be considered. Then there is also lower multi-touch point prices, that a multi-touch point multiple touch points in the shipping process inherently increase shipment related cost. But effective reconciliation can help to keep these costs under control, maintaining a strict documentation and automating as much as possible of the process of the freight management, alleviate many of the freight consolidation and the consolidation concerns and the cost. Then also we have delay in the consolidation and unloading. That even in the freight the consolidation, the unloading process is subject to risk. An injury can occur. There can be delay in the consolidation, which can result in inaccurate yard times and yard management. And it may also sound like a nightmare to mitigate these risks. But freight forwarders working with a freight working with the freight forwarders can effectively move the risk of freight deconsolidation from their shoulders to the freight forwarders' risk. Then we have key considerations for reducing the cost of the freight deconsolidations. What would we do so that we reduce this cost of freight deconsolidation? So freight forwarders bear a significant burden of responsibility in ensuring freight security and timely arrival. So the enlisted should be put into place by the shippers and forwarders to ensure a streamlined freight deconsolidation and approach the tactics more confidently. One of the things that understand and plan accordingly. That is, for all subsequent packages movement, including intermodal shipments and the consolidation of freight, in preparation for last mile delivery, comprehensive documentation to prevent delays at intermodal borders crossing, and also taking advantage of pre-approved international shipping lanes. So ensure that you really understand and plan accordingly for all the subsequent package movement they're going to be moved, including the intermodal shipments and the consolidations. So it's important to take note of that. Then experience working throughout the process with multiple warehouse and yard management systems, and coordination with the freight managers. So that is also something which you must take into place, and this is the role of a freight forwarder. Then maintaining a real-time traceability and visibility in the freight locations needed for e-commerce era product monitoring. This involves the things like the package weight, length, and the volume to freight forwarders are correct to document before scheduling a pickup. So you must check that is the weight correct, whatever has been captured in the packing list. Is it the real thing that is there? Okay, so it's very important. Then another thing is prioritization of products. That in the restructuring process, ensuring proper delivery by the consolidation, helping to improve inventory management, increasing product quality to meet the demands of peak shopping seasons. In a way, it also makes methodologies for just-in-time inventory management. I think you understand what just-in-time means. It's a Japanese concept which simply implies that the order needs to be just delivered when it is required, not when it suits the supplier, but when it suits the customer that makes the order. That is GIT concept. Okay, too early may cause some other cost to the customer. Too late will make him lose clients. So it must be observed very much in whenever you are delivering cargoes. So boosting freight consolidation and freight deconsolidation proficiency and efficiency with the prime freight today shippers have rapid opportunities in the digital age to reduce the freight spending and maximize product availability and the level of customer service. So instead of you trying to manage all the aspects of freight management, more freight forwarders are switching to freight forwarders to improve both international and domestic shipping skills and productivity. And due to the exponential increase in the variety of product, shippers need a way to improve the inventory availability and move inventory closer to end users and consumers. And fortunately enough, freight consolidation and deconsolidation make this possible. Even when it requires consolidation shipment from multiple shippers, uh, or for shippers to take advantage of better rates with the freight forwarders. So that is all about what you need to know about consolidation and deconsolidation. So if you are asked, can you please briefly explain to us what is a freight consolidation? You must be in a place to position to explain that. What is a freight deconsolidation? So consolidation, we say that it is that aspect whereby smaller consignments of different or smaller units are brought together into one container, and that container will now change its name and be called now an LCL container. Okay, so an LCL, which means less than container load, will carry different shipments belonging to different shippers. Okay, then now deconsolidation comes at the point of final delivery, or at the point of final destination of this particular shipment. So once the cargo reaches the port of final destination, what happens there is that now the container gets stripped and the cargo is discharged. And now when the cargo is being discharged, remember these cargoes, they are covered by a type of BL known as a house BL. So this house BL will identify who is the owner of these cargoes. So if there's a need for them to be warehoused, they'll be taken to a warehouse. If there's a need, there are those ones which can be taken under the shade, they'll be taken under the cargo shade. Okay, so that is the consolidation. And all these ones, they need a proper planning and be managed by people who are efficient in this particular field for it to be effective. If not, then the whole process will be shambled, and there will be what called a longer lead time. And when there's a longer lead time, then which means that we are going to miss the point of just in time. And when the point of just in time is missed, remember, for the customers or whoever made the order, we lose these customers automatically, because customers are never patient. If you cannot provide them whatever they want from your shop, your neighbor is providing a better service, so they will go to your neighbor straight away and get whatever you can't provide to them. So it's upon you to ensure that you use a reliable freight forwarder who can ensure that your cargo is consolidated in the right time and it is moved to where it is required. Then a proper consolidation also enables the cargo not to be damaged during movement. Remember, there's that movement when the cargo is not fully packed, or it is not well packed, then that movement of cargo shifting inside the container can make it to break. So, but with the proper consolidation, you find that there's that close stack kind of there's that closed intact the way they are packaged. So this helps to avoid necessary movement during transit, and the cargo will arrive in the rightful state. Then packaging and cargo handling. Now, packaging is just the way in which you put your cargo into the right pack, which is allow it either to be sold with the pack, or which allow it to be handled safely by various handling materials. Okay, so in material handling or the cargo handling, it simply involves the movement, storage, control, protection of materials, product, and packaged goods throughout the process of manufacturing, distribution, disposal, packaging. That packaging is an important function in closing material and product for distribution and movement. So it makes you in packaging, allows you to pack or to place that particular material in the rightful pack that allows for further movement. Okay, yeah. Or some are packed with their materials that they will be sold with, so it enables that efficient movement. Then material handling principles. These are some of the material handling principles that have been deployed by the College Industry Council for material handling education after designing and testing material handling system throughout vigorous engineering analysis. So they came up with this principle. The principles include orientation principle. Now, this one looking at, it looks at the entire system and study it first to learn how it operates. Okay. Then you identify the system components and their relationship. Then it also looks at the relationship to other systems to find the physical limitations. So that's called orientation principle. First of all, you look at the entire system, this system. How does it work? Learn it by yourself, how to operate it. Then, after learning how to operate it, identify what makes it, and if this is what is making it, what is the relationship with the working. Then try to compare it with the other system to find what are some of the physical limitations that can make our system not work like the other one. Then we have got planning principle. Planning principle involves coming up with a plan to meet the basic requirements. And in a reasonable form, an MH, that is a plan, that is material handling plan, identify the material, identify the material, that is what, the moves, when, and where, and the method, how. Okay, so it answers those questions: what, when, where, how, who. That is planning. Okay, yeah. So what are we going to use? When are we supposed to use it? Where are we going to use it? How are we going to use it? And who is going to be involved? It answers those questions. Then we have system principle. This one integrates the handling, packaging, and storage activities that make up a coordinated system. Then we have what called unit load principle. That is pick up product as a unit. Space utilization principle involves the optimize the utilization of all space. Standardization principle, standardize the method and the equipment employed, that is reduce customization. Then we have ergonomic principle, adapt working conditions to workers' needs and abilities. We have energy principle, it reduces the energy consumption by material handling activities. Then ecology principle, minimize and adverse effects on the material environment when selecting an MH system component. Mechanization principle, use machines, involves the use of machines. Flexibility principle, involves the use of the components that can work with a reasonable tolerance. Simplification principle, this is change handling procedures by eliminating, decreasing, or combining necessary. Gravity principle, rely on the gravity to move the material easily where possible. And also the safety principle, provide safe material handling system components to handle the entire system. Computerization principle involves the use of computers to operate both individual pieces of equipment and massive supply chains spread across several continents. Then system flow principle, integrate data flow with the physical material flow in handling to make the coordinated system. We also have the layout principle. Simply organize an operation sequence and the shipment layout for all the variable system. Cost principle, recognize all material handling alternatives. They have associated cost that they use, that must be carefully considered as the system is devised. So all those ones you can go through them. They are just in time principle, hold the product, move, team, solution principle, collaboration, minimum travel principles. So these principles, if they are keenly followed, there are several, they make the entire process to be simple. So up to there, class, we winding up your lesson. And in case you didn't get something well, we have our comment tab. You can comment there, leave out your comment, then with your question, then I'll address it in the next class. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Have a good morning. Thank you. Bye.